Alright, so we are headed out on kind of a late afternoon, early evening rockhound today to a spot that I know that has some interesting finds, so we'll see you when we get there.
Come explore this amazing world with me, one vivid rock at a time.
Okay, so we just arrived to our chosen location for our little evening rock hunt. And the first thing is safety. And first and foremost, that comes to with whatever you're wearing. Protective clothing, wearing the right footwear. When I am going rock hounding, I make sure I wear at least athletic sneakers. If I'm going into an area where I know that I may encounter snakes, if I'm wading into the water especially, I wear gaiters. And I'll show you those another time at a time where I wear those or where I'm trying to protect my feet from getting wet. Long pants, ticks, making sure that you are wearing bug spray, sunscreen if necessary. It's about 7 o'clock where we're at right now. And so I'm not going to need any sunscreen, but it is prime time for the mosquitoes. Skeeters, as we like to call them. So right now I'm going to go ahead and get ready. Got my hat on. I like to keep the sun out of my eyes, even though it's still kind of bright outside. Another thing I want to talk about is being safe in regards to your location. Make sure you know the location that you're at, know the terrain, know, and always be aware of your surroundings, okay? Making sure that somebody knows where you're going and when to expect you back. Sad to say that there are hikers like myself who are rock hounding or looking at other things and they just disappear. So I don't do a lot of deep woods hiking, but I do a fair amount of hiking, so it's always important. And if necessary, carry protection. I am typically armed when I am legally. I'm typically armed when I am rock hounding because I don't know what I may come across. So just make sure that, you know, worst case, if you come across a bad person or an animal, you know, and you don't have something, you know, a stick to kick if it's something like an animal like a coyote. If an animal's ever coming at you, it's you or them. It's not the time to go, oh, pretty. Wild animals should not be approaching you, nor should strange people who don't know you. So always be on the lookout. Time to get my trusty pack. All right, so we're heading down to the water, and typically that involves a downhill. Typically. So we are watching out for bugs and taking in the scenery. Let me show you some of the beautiful things we see. See all these beautiful flowers. Just beautiful. Beautiful butterfly. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Oop, oop, oop. There it is. So this is a spot that I know of really good. And we're just kind of looking around, but as you can see, everything is quite silty. There was something that came around here. There was definitely like a flash flood that came in through here. So I do typically carry like a squirt bottle with me, but I am not doing that today. I'm just doing a kind of a quick rock hound. Now here's you know, potential for a safety hazard here. This is a really big rock, so there's potential for certain things to be hiding underneath. So, you know, be careful. Don't reach all the way underneath before you flip, you know, if you can. And then flip it over, okay? But there's the potential. You have to know what those hazards are in order to flip rocks without getting hurt. Everything is so muddy. Okay, I think we found something. Right there, I see some luster. Yep. This is slag glass. And I know that because I see the shine, the hardness, and I also see bubbles. We aren't in an area where obsidian is commonly found, and we are near an area where furnaces used to be back in the 1800s, dating back to the 1700s, so the Revolutionary War era. Great find. A lot of this stuff will polish up nice, and once it's cleaned up, it can be a really nice blue. Let's see if we can find some more. So it's just walking, and I think I went up to a part of this big pile where there's not as much mud. As you can see, the rocks are fairly less covered, and I think we may have another piece of slag right here. Yep, sure do. Yay! I'm gonna be tumbling this stuff very soon. See what else we can find. I think I might see some more right over there. I don't know if we're able to get to it safely. Let's see. Right here, I think is a big piece of slag right here. Yes. Very shiny, that piece. Yep, that's going in the pack. Oh, I see another one. So slag glass is very similar in a way to obsidian, except it is man-made waste. And it can come, especially when it comes to iron slag, it can come in blues, greens, which are the primary ones, and purples. Alrighty, that was a nice find. Looks like we might have another piece. Let's see. Yes, and I think I see one right there. Let's see. Oh, it might be a bigger one. Gotta be careful when flipping that muddy rock. Oh, that might be a big one. Pretty sure that that's slag. It's well tumbled too. It's a big piece. Oh man, that's a big piece of slag. Heavy too. That one's already partially, and a lot of these are river tumbled, but a lot of them aren't because they've just been sitting here on these piles. Let's see. What else can we find? Oh, I got a spider there. I found this really cool piece of quartz. I've never quite seen it grow or be in these kind of layers. I'm going to take a look at this later and see if there's any potential for a vein agate here. We'll have to see. I'm not sure yet. So we'll take a look at that later. Any more slag around? Oh, this one. Maybe. I think that is a nope. It is kind of light. No, I don't think so. What else we got? Yeah, it's because you're disturbing them. My son is throwing rocks. He's recently figured out he likes to throw rocks. So, okay, we'll head out in a minute or 20. Oh, I see one right there. Pretty sure that that's a piece of slag. So I'm just gonna be very careful when I lift up this rock. All right, no snake under there. Huh. And then move that out of the way. Let's see what we got. Yes, nice little piece of slag right there. Awesome. Over here, what kind of looks like tracks is really probably this thing skidding or somebody dragging something, but if you see wet mud, it may not be able to be walked on, so just be really careful. All right, so we're headed back to the car now. We made it a pretty quick trip because it's late afternoon or early evening. Put my finds in, empty my pockets into my bag, and now we're headed back to the car. See you there. All right, so we're back in the car, and it wasn't a super fruitful trip this time, and that's another thing. If you get out into the field, be prepared to be skunked.